Oh, 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 oh.
Welcome to the Fresh Delivery Show. We are on season 3, ladies and gentlemen. Season 3. Not that many people can go that far, but I am your host with the most. I am the Shaolin Fantastic. This episode is brought to you by linesofcharacters.com. Check out your favorite characters and favorite comic book characters. If you want them brought to life, check them out on linesofcharacters.com. I also have in the house my other co-host who actually is a star of his own podcast. He is...
Grand Booba in the building.
What's up, Grand Booba? How you doing, man?
What's good with you, Shaolin?
I'm good, man. So we got special guests. This is kind of like a big throwback. So I'd like to introduce some people that are actually making big impacts in the DMV area. For those that are listening that are international, it's the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. It is not the Department of Motor Vehicle. Please get that right. And first of all, real quick, just to kind of put it out there, the DMV area, what that really means, and I'm just going to be transparent about it. A lot of people are like, oh, no, it's not. I'm sorry. It's the map of the Metro map, right? Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And then, oh, by the way, for those of you that think Baltimore should be part of the DMV, not really, because they're outside of the Metro map, okay? So be more people. Sorry, but y'all don't belong to the DMV. You feel me?
Right.
I'm just saying.
So our first guest in the house, we have Team Towe. We have Daryl Towe and we have Leia Towe of CTAB Hoops. Also, for those that don't know the truth, but this is the real truth, the real love and basketball story. What's up, y'all? Can y'all hear me?
The real McCalls.
Team Towe, y'all there? I see y'all working. Team Towe, you good? Okay, I see them in the private chat. You guys are live. If you want to wave, oh, you can't hear us.
Oh man, they probably muted us.
Technical difficulties. Why are you getting that? Let me know when you're ready to come back in. Also, we have another guest who's in here. He's also part of Team Rhythm Alliance. His name is Amru, and he's also known as Just Ruit. What's up, Just Ruit?
What up, fellas? What's going on, man? Glad to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Rudiger, what it do, man?
What up?
What's up,
what
team?
Up, Grand Booba? Shaolin, what up, fellas?
What's up, Team Towe?
Hey,
what up, y'all?
Sorry.
Nah.
What up, Dion?
What up?
Not much, man. Trying to make it right for y'all, man. You know, we come on the fresh delivery, man. We got to be A1.
That's what's up.
True.
Can you guys hear me clear? You're good? Can you hear me? No?
I can hear you slight.
Yeah.
You can. How about now? Can you hear me?
A little bit. Turn your mic up just a little bit more.
Turn my mic up just a little bit more. How about now? Better?
Perfect.
Okay. And then we also have another person that's part of the Rhythm Alliance team. He actually owns and he runs his company. It's called Driven Athletic Academy. He's also one of the trainers of the Junior Washington Wizards. We got Dale McNeil in the house. What's up, Big Dale?
What's going on?
It's
Rico, what it do?
Grand Booba, what's good?
What's good with you, man?
Yo,
Look at this guy.
I got my meal.
I'm talking meal sitting in front of you.
what do you eat? What is that?
Hey, you can't hide money, man. You can't hide money. Hey, Chipotle.
Oh man. So
what's up, neighbor? What's
What's going on?
How you feeling, man?
So this is actually
glad to see everybody, man.
Real talk, man.
This is actually like a big reunion for us, you know. Just for the people out there, we've known each other for more than 10 plus years. It all started with the love of basketball. We all played together on the same team. I sucked and I got hurt, so I ended up coaching the team. And the best thing that came out of this whole thing is that I formed really strong relationships with these people, and they definitely make big impacts in the basketball community, but not only in the basketball community, but the community in general. And obviously the thing that keeps us all together is basketball, and that's probably one of the blessings is, you know, out there. So here's a question for you guys. So for a lot of people that don't tell us a little bit about your history and like your real brief history of basketball, and then how you started your entrepreneurship. Let's go with Team Towe first.
Well, our basketball experience, I'm born and raised in Virginia Beach, the Norfolk area, Tidewater area, home of the best athletes and entertainers and all that good stuff. Played at high school, man, won a state championship, state player of the year and all that good stuff, man. They ended up going to Allegheny Community College, Norfolk State, and then played overseas. Now I'm training on our own umbrella, which is CTAB Hoops.
And so my background is I played too, and then got recruited at D2 school down in North Carolina. And from there, I actually ended up finishing off my college career, not hooping, but just graduating from ODU. But I got picked up from a semi-pro team. I played semi-pro for about 2.5 years. And now we got CTAB. And that is our basketball career thus far.
All right, real quick before we go to the next person, tell us real briefly, how are y'all the real love and basketball story?
Man, if you look for one, my baby look like Sanaa Lake, man. But we did our thing, man, and we knew each other. A quick story: the year 1999. When our boys, we won the state championship, played in the Norfolk Scope. 1999, the women's, her team won the state championship. So we won it for the boys, they won it for the girls, and we never knew. We crossed paths in the tunnel, but we never knew each other until later on in the years, man. And it's crazy. I'm up here, and we got kids, man, together, and we still doing it, man. So we are the real love in basketball. It don't get no more love or bull.
And I ended up hooping. We ended up playing a one-on-one game legit, and I beat him. I did it fake, and he jumped. And when I did that, and his boy, and Vano, if Vano ever watched this show, Vano could testify that I did that, and from that point, it was a wrap.
I let her, because at the end of the night, what do you want to do, fellas? At the end of the night, what do you want to do?
Oh, my God.
You trying to slam dunk.
Which didn't happen. Don't size it.
Oh man. Hey, what's that saying? Sometimes you got to lose to win.
There you go.
Sometimes you got to lose to win.
There you go.
Don't size it.
All right, so we're gonna go to Daryl McNeil, who owns Driven Athletic Academy. A very good friend of mine, known him for a long time too, and he's a trainer over at the junior WNBA team, the Junior Wizards, actually. So tell us about your story and your background in basketball and how where you are at today. Uh-oh, it's like a kung fu movie. You're muted, my bad. You're gonna have to start over, my bad.
I said I'm still laughing at Daryl and Leia's story, man. Oh, yeah. Daryl said you gotta win some to lose. You gotta lose some to win some.
It's true.
No, but with me, I was a standout player in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in high school. Ended up playing at a JUCO in Pittsburgh for a couple years. From there, I thought basketball was really over for me since I didn't apply myself in the classroom like I should have at the time. So, I went on to get my degree at Benedict College. But while I was at college, I continued to play ball, continued to stay in the state. And I just happened to be lucky, one of those few lucky people who had a relative that happened to be a general manager. Or at the time, he was head of player personnel with the Indiana Pacers. So he asked me, called me. He saw me play. He felt, I had the skill level. He wanted to make sure, he wanted to test it out. So he asked me to come into, at the time, I believe the Indianapolis played in, Market Square Arena. So he asked me to come to Market Square Arena. So I flew into Indianapolis. I had a workout with them. The workout I thought went pretty well, but after listening to him, he's you're missing something in your game. So, but the whole experience really sparked my interest from the actual coaches passing me the ball and taking me through all these drills and things like that. So it sort of lit a fuse in my head to let me know that that's something I may be interested in doing. And from there, I decided to start working for different companies that were player development companies, and really just decided to do my own thing with Driven Athletic Academy.
Nice. All right, we're gonna go to your swing mate. We got Amru Saleh at Just Ruit. Let me unmute you.
How's everybody doing? What's going on, everybody? Hey, I'm still laughing about Daryl too. Hey, Daryl, you should have said double or nothing. I love a basketball reference.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right. Double or nothing. Run it back.
Double or nothing. For good times, man. We definitely had some good times. That's for sure, man. Daryl, I see you, man. What up, neighbor? I'm only up the street from you. Every time I go for my runs, I'll run past your house, man. So I know you out there.
For real?
Yeah. We live in the same neighborhood.
So Just Ruit, tell us about like your basketball background, and for the listeners out there, so they know about you.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had the love for the game. I grew up, I started playing basketball at the age of 4, and just been in love with the game ever since. I've just been hooping, doing pickups and even occasional rec teams. And then I ended up, I remember I was in summer league after I went to Penn Branch High School. I actually got cut. So the coach was like, he told me to work on my jump shot, and he said my jump shot wasn't good. So I said, okay. So I went to, I hit up Mike Lonigan. I went to Catholic University, and I was out there for summer basketball camp. I ended up being the number 2 scorer in the camp, and I led the camp in assists. So I was more of a point guard back then, not more of a shooter. Then my game started to develop a little bit. Then I went to Montgomery College, and I'm repping right here. I actually played a little bit. I played a little bit of JUCO, but I was, on the practice squad mostly. But I got in when I got in. But I always, played the game when I got the opportunity to play. So that's what stuck with me.
Nice. Good story.
Cool story, bro. So I got a question for y'all, man. What pushed you guys to leave your day job to start your business? And what kind of hurdles did y'all face, while you guys were taking on entrepreneurship? I guess I'll start with Towe.
So Daryl has always wanted to work for himself because
Always. I don't want to work for nobody.
When we got together, ended up having what did you do? You had just got back from Argentina. So when we got together, I graduated doing this, blah, blah, blah. We met each other. I was running my own leagues at that point and just finishing off my semi-pro career. So, like, working 9 to 5s was a norm. So when we got together, it was like, bro, you come up here, we work. We don't sit around here, don't do nothing. And so...
And where I'm from, we can go get it.
I don't know about all that. Okay. They try to figure it out where he's from. But anyways, so we ended up working. He's worked, several jobs. I think this is where in the time frame when you started meeting Lynn and Dale and everybody.
Yep.
And then CTAB was born because both of us still had a passion of the game. So like I was doing coaching on the side, and at his job he was doing different things for his clients. At the what's the spot called? The rehab thing center that used to work at. Pathways, yes. With Dale and everybody. So he was doing basketball. So from there, just got to a point where we both saw a vision, needed the vision of something bigger than both of us. And it came together, came to fruition. But for me, it was still like, all right, we working this CTAB thing, but it ain't bringing in no money yet. We need to keep it 9 to 5. And it took me a little bit longer. He jumped out on face first. And it was probably about maybe 4 months after he did it, I finally left my job. And the crazy thing is when I left my job, like I was already pushing some good numbers salary-wise, and I had just got a promotion and got a bonus the month that I was wanting to leave. But took that leap of faith. Yeah. There's a lot more behind.
What was crazy was we both had, like divine interventions, like something happened. Like Daryl and Lynn, y'all know when we do the 15-minute checks, you know what I mean? We literally sitting in the hallway waiting for the kids to go to bed, but not also, make sure they ain't doing anything crazy. One day, I forgot who it was, one of the co-workers gave me a book, on Charles Stanley, and doing that 15-minute checks, I was reading every single day, and that's kind of where I got the thought, and the idea and the spiritual connection, like, yo, this is what I need to do, start this program. Because we was already working out the kids anyway, every single day doing recreational therapy. And that's kind of how, it came to life.
Everything came to it. It's a bunch of behind the stuff that we could go detail about, but on another day. But that's how we did it. So it took faith. Like that bottom line, it took faith.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can respect that. Dale, how about you, man? What hurdles did you face when you had to start up your entrepreneurship life?
My wife. That was the main hurdle. So I had to convince her. Once, like I said, I was working. Like I said, I was working at I was working with Daryl at the hospital, so we were doing that. But at the same time, I was working for a professional development company dealing with player development. So, and I saw how the owner of the company, how he was bringing in money. And, it seemed like that was right up my alley. And that's something I always did anyway. I just have a passion to train and to teach. So if I wasn't getting paid, I would do it anyway. So I knew that that was definitely the road I wanted to take. So with that said, I decided to go ahead and continue to build my clientele. Once my clientele got to a certain level and I was able to bring in just as much money as I was at work, I let my wife know that, hey, I can swap it out now. I can go ahead and really start, bringing in money this way rather than going to work and punching the clock every day. And luckily, I had a good friend that's an agent, and he needed a lot of his NBA guys trained. So he ended up hiring me as the head scout and head of player development with his company at the same time. So that helped, combat the money that I was bringing in at the same time. So, my wife was eventually, she said, okay, go ahead. You're making that much money. You're good to leave your job. So that was a hurdle that I really had. Was her making sure I made enough money to cover myself.
I'm starting to see a theme. Happy wife, happy life. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you gotta get that clearance.
Right. That's what it is.
Wait, I have a question really quick to Daryl. Daryl, what was it like playing overseas? Did you experience any language barriers or any culture shock? Like when you got to Argentina, how did it feel to you?
Man, it was crazy. As soon as I got off the plane, I go straight to my apartment, sit down, went upstairs, put my bags down. I came down, sat down on a porch, and it was like, yo, this is crazy. I'm really in a whole nother country. As soon as I say that, literally riding past on a horse and kind of carriage is like a poor family, 3 kids, a husband and a wife with all their stuff on the back of this little cart. And I'm looking like, yo, that is crazy.
Reality check.
I think we poor, but I'm seeing this, I'm in a whole nother country and seeing them just go past. I was like, yo, that's crazy. But at the same time, man, beautiful water. Back then, I was thinking beautiful ladies. Argentina, crazy. But it's, man, great experience, man. I wouldn't trade it. You know what I mean?
You said it's mad hoes.
That too.
We talking about the garden tools. Garden tools.
Yeah, garden tools, people.
Right.
Gutter.
So here's a question for everyone. Because the game of basketball has changed so much, and we've pretty much, a lot of us were 80s babies. We grew up in the 90s, and the generation has changed. Evolution of sports in general has changed. Workout programs, eating habits, technology is so much involved now. What do you guys do to stay relative with the current trends right now? So for example, Just Ruit is somebody that I admire a lot. So to kind of put you out there a little bit, Just Ruit, his background is he's Muslim, and during Ramadan he would text or we would message each other, and he's running 6 miles. And I know during Ramadan you can't really, eat or drink or anything like that. And I know that's definitely, that plays a toll on your body with, like hydration and stuff like that. And, now that it's over, you continue this path. So like, with that being said, like, how do you stay relative with the current trends of like workouts and stuff, with pretty much what ways, with what you're doing now?
Basically, I take from whatever I've learned in my past, and then I incorporate it with what I see now, with what current trainers are doing, and how they're incorporating their lifestyle and their eating habits and their sleep patterns into what they do every day. Granted, I don't have the best sleeping cycle, but I'm more of a night person anyway. That's always been my mindset. But for like the last 2 years, I've been in the gym like faithfully, whether I'm just doing cardio, weights. I even bulked up, gained like 15 pounds of muscle. But with Ramadan, that's always been with me in the sense of fasting while exercising. I even had a couple games where I was with MC. I was fasting while I was playing. And even there were times when we were playing at Rhythm Alliance, I don't know if you guys remember, there were a couple times where I was fasting, and I would be fasting maybe 16, 18 hours, and I wouldn't have like a drink until like almost 9 o'clock at night, or basically when it's halftime. That's the only time I can, I check out. But other than that, just basically staying with the trends. I just read up, do my research, and see what I can do to adapt. As we're also getting older, we have to also use what's beneficial to our bodies now as we age.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Dale, since you work with, NBA players and you're working out with kids as well, like, what do you see that's different from now compared to like the way people work out then and now, especially in the pro level?
Well, the pro level and the high school level are a little different. They differentiate a little. What I do to try to keep me up on different things. Let me hold my camera up. What I do to keep me abrupt is I have a few friends now in the league. So, everyone knows the league is sort of like a fraternity. So now I have a good amount of older coaches and some young, like that Shamgard is my boy. So I'll hit him up. I might pick his brain about something. I may call other player development guys from different teams and just get their input on things. And then I also go to different NBA camps and just learn, to do my own professional development just to stay relevant. I think just being around a younger group of guys and also, just being in that environment, you learn a lot just from observing.
Yeah,
basically.
That makes sense. What about y'all, Team Towe? So this is going to be really good to hear from a lady's perspective, and from obviously as a couple as a whole. Not negating that you're a male, Daryl, but you know what I mean, as a couple, because that like your story. Ever since I've known you guys, and I'm actually part of your story, being part of your company too, but just seeing it, and then it's actually really inspiring to see a couple strive to have the same hobbies, same goals, and the end result is to help inspire a generation. So with that being said, like, how do you stay relative with what's going on, especially in female sports? Because now, if you think about it, Kobe was a big advocate for the WNBA, and they were going to make big strides, and all of a sudden it was unfortunate that he passed away. So what kind of things do you do to stay relative?
Well, the first thing is just, social media is the game changer nowadays. So you've got to be up on top of your social media 24/7, and that's the way to connect to kids, through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. So that's the number one thing, that is making sure we have relevant content and we're doing things on our social media pages. But for outside of that, like, we just know how to connect to kids, connect to that next generation. It's the old school way is you do what you're told. So you sit into a room or a classroom or a gym and you're just barking at kids. And usually, that's how we will move, because that's just the respect that we had back then. But nowadays, these kids are so darn grown that you got to break it down and get down to their level and really connect with them, and relate. Yeah. And that's the best way that you'll be able to really create a movement for your organization and for your business and all that good stuff. So that's the best ways that we've been able to really cut through and penetrate this platform.
I think the other thing too is being consistent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like, you know, we hoopers and stuff like that, being consistent and being disciplined in our workouts and stuff like that. I mean, dealing with business and dealing with social media and dealing with just evolving in the culture is like all about being consistent. The more you put out, the more rhythm you have, you know what I mean? So that's how I treat it. Like every day we got to do something within our businesses and CTAB to, you know what I mean, to stay relevant. We're not trying to keep up with nobody.
Right.
But we have to be abreast of what's going on, and that's kind of, you know, that's how we treat everything moving forward and, you know, in the past.
And then lastly is just like you said, staying fit, right? So like I've been to plenty of gyms and plenty of trainings and stuff like that where you see trainers just telling, move, do this. I think we get a whole lot of respect when we actually, because we get involved with all of our workout sessions, whether it's, you know, training wise, whether we're actually coaching, like all my coaches that ever coach with me, we actually hoop with our kids. Cause you know, we still pretty nimble, still got a little bit rolling with us. So, I think that's a huge aspect. I mean, even for me as a woman, I think one of the things that really brought a lot of females to buy into me was like, yo, I didn't stop playing pregnant when till Daryl made me stop when I was like 6 months.
She diving on the floor for loose balls and all that.
Right? But that was an inspiration to a lot of females to make it show that, like, dang, no matter what position that you're in, you can keep going if you have that mindset. So I think that being able to stay relevant with the times and being able to stay fit with everybody, I think is really why we, you know, continue to bloom in our business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One thing I was going to say for you, Leah, and I don't think I've ever told you this. So as long as you guys know me and I had my daughter at a young age and she would come to all the games, and obviously when she got older, one time we were waiting for our practice and your girls team was practicing and my daughter was like, girls play basketball? And I stopped and I was just like, you don't know that? And I just stopped and I was like, I realized, you know, she comes to the boys games that I coach, you know, she'll come watch, you know, NBA. And so for her to see that, and she correlates basketball with you all the time. So it's like you're an inspiration. I'm hoping one day she'll ever pick up, but I think like she understands, she knows what's going on. She knows what's a foul. She knows like who's a crybaby and who's not. And but she won't play, but you know, she's still competitive in other ways. And with Daryl and Dale and Rue, one thing that I've noticed with, you know, watching you guys work out, playing with you guys in my lifetime, is even though, like you said, the newer trends are out and you have to stay hip to what's going on, you guys, I always feel like you guys go back to your fundamental roots and to show the drenched sweat coming off your shirt and all that kind of stuff. When kids see that, they're like, oh, damn, like maybe I need to go back, you know, because, you know, we've always preached on like, yeah, it's good to be able to dribble between your legs, but you can sit there for like, you know, 40 seconds and do that in a game, you know, and, you know, sometimes you know, it's like that philosophy that Bruce Lee have always said. It's like a sculpture, you know, you add almost, you know, a lot to your final piece, but in reality, you're taking off what you really need to get the beautiful art from it, you know.
It's dope. It's dope. Hey, Boo Boo, you got the Rhythm Alliance jersey on?
Yes, sir. You already know. All day, man. Got rep the squad.
I ain't meant to interrupt, man, but I thought I was, you know, seeing that.
I could have been Lynn with the CTAB shirt, though.
I mean, where's my CTAB shirt?
I mean, you just got involved. So I'm saying, Lynn been around for a minute.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that I have a picture with Dale. I had a picture with Dale in his wedding. I had the Rhythm Alliance jersey, and when we were on the beach and stuff like that.
Yeah, dope, man. That's dope.
So, Team Towe, real quick, why do you guys think that high school kids are beginning to neglect D2 and D3 schools? And I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but there are a lot of kids that are now like skipping, that want to skip college altogether and want to go to the G League. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Man, I think everybody think it's easy, man. Mm-hmm. They think it's easy, and it's crazy. We have so many kids, man, in our program, and just that's around period that we come across, and they be like, "Yeah, I'm going D1." I'm like, "Yo, you know how hard that is? Like, you saying it like it's easy, like it's nothing." You know, I want to go D2, man. I ain't looking down on D3 and D2, not knowing that like if you put in the work and you grind every day, you will make it if it's meant for you at the end of the day.
And that's the thing that I think they forget. Like you can grind it out, but if you just don't fit the pieces to these D1s, what they're looking for, you're not going to get it. So we try to teach them, just try to obtain a scholarship at any level, period. Whether it's the grant, whether it's a scholarship, whatever the case may be, just try to get to the next level on hoop.
Right.
But their expectation, like, half of them don't even really know how to go through our workouts because we emulate what you would see at the next level.
Right.
And if you can't sustain our workouts at this level, what do you think is going to happen at the next level?
Or you averaging 5 points and you 5'2", and you talking about you going to Kentucky.
Right, exactly.
Unless you're like, okay, all right, let me go for
like Kentucky Wesleyan.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's crazy, man. Everybody got that microwave mentality, man. Like they want it now. Everything's
and then you got and then you got parents who don't just have unrealistic expectations. Like, well, my kid is this and my kid is that, and it's like, listen, I can put your kid up against the best 5 right now in the DMV, and they will not survive. Right. Period. So, like, it's a lot. I think that's a lot of the issue. Is it comes from these parents who think they just know, and because it's their kid, they, you know what I mean. And almost majority, I don't think in our program alone, I think maybe we've had on a handful of parents who've actually experienced next level athletics. But everybody else is so new to it. But if you were to talk to a lot of them one-on-one, oh yeah, my kid's going to make it. My kid's this, my kid's this. And it's like, listen, y'all have real unrealistic expectations and y'all are not ready.
Or they're listening to coaches who
gassing
them up. They have no background on nothing. They just been involved in a situation with a company that was been around 25 years.
Right.
And now they feel like they King Dingaling in a sense. You know? I don't know if I can say that on your show, but I said, I apologize. It just came out.
You good, man. Hey, it's a safe zone. You say whatever you want.
Well, what about you, Dale? What's your take on with kids? Because most recently we talked about one of my players who made a name phenomenally in 1 year being transferred from private school to public school, and we talked about the D2, D3, and what's your take with kids and some of the kids that you work out with? That kids kind of like want to go D1, kind of like what Daryl and Leia was saying, like. You can go to Duke. You may not even play. You're just wearing the uniform.
I think like just to piggyback off of what Daryl and Leah said, they're right. Like people do have like this warped sense of reality, and it's not just being good. It's about being lucky too. You have to be in the right situation. The right situation has to come your way. There's a lot of people who are very good, and if given that chance, they would probably prosper in that situation, but not everybody's blessed with being in a great situation. So, and everybody's path in life is different. And a lot of these parents who are really hyping up their kids, they have no idea of how much hard work you have to put in. Even some of the top Division I guys I see, they don't have a sense on what it takes to become an NBA player. So, I mean, every level you go up, there's a different level you have to hit as a player. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't realize that 2 hours before the game, Isaiah Thomas, he used to get about 200 shots up. This is 2 hours before the game. Before the game starts, he goes in the locker room, changes his clothes and everything, comes back out. Now it's time that the team comes out. They get another set of shots up for another half an hour or so. Then they leave. Then the crowd comes. Then they come back out, and then now they're warming up for the game. So this is prior to the game. So just imagine what happens when it's not game day and how many shots they're putting up. So then people just see them making shots during the game, like, wow, this guy can shoot. No, you know how many shots he had to take in order to become that good? So I don't think people really realize that. I think they just think, oh, I can play and I can make it to this next level, when really they have no idea what it really takes. So some of these parents are just as clueless as the kids.
That's so true, because we used to hear stories about the late great Kobe Bryant, the game started at 7, he would get there at 12 to get his shots up, eat lunch, and go to the trainer and all that kind of stuff, man. And it's crazy to hear that. So then let me ask you an overall question. Do stats mean everything? Because I feel like with these high school kids, oh, I'm dropping 30, I'm doing this, XYZ. But in reality, once you go to college, the whole game is different because it's still a team aspect. And obviously you want to promote yourself and you want to be able to, showcase your individual talent for possible future NBA goals and stuff like that. But do stats mean everything?
I think for real, like if you go to a D3 or D2 and you do get a scholarship at the D2 level, I think stats do matter. You know what I mean? You definitely want to have to put up 25, 30 to get a look, you know what I mean? Unless you're 7 foot, you know what I'm saying? But if you go to Duke and you got have a decent season, you averaging 9 or 10 points, you probably be a first round or second rounder, depending on, you know what I mean, how much work you put in or how tall you are, how athletic you are. But if you go to, D2, D3, I think the stats do matter. You know what I mean?
I think I think it's a fine line though. Like, so you put up high numbers right now, that's great. But a lot of players, once you get, so say I am a top dog and I'm averaging 25 points in my high school career, and I end up getting to that D1 level, but now everybody plays exactly like me. I think it's a mentality that comes behind that too. You have to understand that at the high school level, you might be great, but once you get collegiately, everybody's great. So now you got to see how your game is altered, because your game is not going to be focused on the points aspect now. Now you got to be able to contribute in other ways to be on the floor at that next level. So I think there's a real fine balance. Maybe high stats is good for now, just to be seen and get out there, but it needs to be something in the background that's like, yo, once you get here, regardless of what you did at this point, once you get here, you got to change your game up and your mentality up. If that makes sense.
Right. So if you're a scoring guy in college and you think you can put up high numbers, and now it depends on the situation. So if this team is looking at you and they have Kyrie Irving and you think you're going to score, you could cancel that. You're not going to be a scorer on this team. Kyrie Irving is going to be the first look. So with that said, you better bring something else to the table. Like Leia said, you have to be able to do other things because now your role has changed. So you have to be multifaceted. You have to be able to do play defense. You have to be able to switch different positions, guard many different positions. Also, you may be asked to score at times. You may be asked not to even come in the game. So it just depends. It depends on your situation, and everybody can't fit in the situation. You may have molded your game to become a bona fide scorer your whole life, and then now you get on a team that they already have a max contract guy that you may score just as well as him, but he's getting paid $100 million. You're getting paid $1 million, so you're gonna have to sit down. So it's not your turn yet, or they may say we don't have room for you. But I've also had guys that they come out of a big school, like Daryl said. They come out of a big school. They average about 6 points a game. They get all these looks. They get invited to different camps and everything. Now, these guys are working out for multiple teams. Then I get another kid that comes from a small school, averages 20 points a game. And now we contact the head of player personnel for the team, and they say, well, no, that guy went to this small school. We don't, it's okay. We don't want to watch him. We don't want to see him. It's like, what? So you're going to take this guy who averaged 5 points a game over this guy who averaged 20 points a game, but based off of the name of his school? Because a lot of these head of player personnel or scouts, they don't want to take that chance of being wrong. They don't want to take a chance on a Damian Lillard. And they say he came from a small school. Yeah, he killed there. They want to take a chance on somebody like who has a big name. So if they fail, they say, well, anybody would have chose that kid. See, so it just all depends. It's a funny game, and you got to really be prepared for what's to come because you never know. It all depends on who's looking at you and whether or not you rub them the right way. If not, they can say, well, something about that kid I don't like. So it's a funny game.
Politics.
I think the other side of that too that you need to add is the fact that it's a job, right? Like after high school, it's not glitz and glam anymore. When you start and you go from the collegiate all the way up, it is a job. I don't care what anybody says. Now, college-wise is the best job, right? Because you get to be a student athlete, and it's a whole nother perspective, but it's still a job. Like, you're there. I done gave you this amount of money to do a job on this team, and if you don't do it, you can be cut. You can get your scholarship pulled from you, because at the end of the day, your numbers reflect me, and this is my livelihood for my family. So if you can't fulfill what I need you to do, I'm going to replace you. And I think that's what everybody needs to understand. After high school, it's fun. It's a business, period. So,
I'm sorry. So do you guys think that, so Lee, do you think that college players should get paid? Because I think they do.
Okay, so we have this conversation.
It's a job, I think they should.
Yeah, we have this conversation all the time. I think that the scholarship covers, but I think, like, if I am an elite, and this is where it becomes a fine line, right? Because how do you really decipher this? But if I'm the elite athlete and you're making money off of my jerseys now, on top of me playing and stuff like that, like, there's got to be an additional stipend or something that should be allotted to the family somehow. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how that would happen, but I do think there needs to be something in place, because a lot of these schools are making money off these players. And I'm not talking about like little dot. We're talking about millions of dollars off these big time players and stuff like that. So it's hard to figure out how, but yes, in a sense, I think there should be something in place to assist these players.
Amru, you're about to say something.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I feel like the players should get paid, in a sense, because they're working hard for their craft. And, you know, the NCAA is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So why not get a little bit of piece of that? So you're marketing off of these players, and you're using their names to make your school, you know, 10 times more glamorous compared to, you know, any other school. But you have all these top players, and you have all these, you know, top 10 players in the nation, and they're all playing, you know, Duke, UNC, UCLA, whatever. And you mean to tell me that they can't get a piece of that? I mean, it's complicated, but I don't think it should be that complicated. I mean, pay them a certain salary or a stipend, something, because they should be compensated for how much that they put in and off the court, especially them being students and everything. As long as they get their academics right, which is important. I feel like they have to have a certain criteria of a certain GPA and attend all of their classes, and then they'll be able to make that criteria of getting paid. That's my opinion on it.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that. So if we're gonna pay players, right, college students, should they remove the scholarships then? Because if you think about it, it's like if you're this phenom IT kid coming out of high school and Microsoft offers you a job, it's a job, right? But so then at this point, playing college basketball is like playing a mini semi-pro league or G League then, if you're going to get paid. Because their pay is their scholarship. I hear what you're saying. I'm just playing devil's advocate. But I do agree with the jersey sales and at least the video games, you should get paid. But on top of that, you know, I mean, yeah, the school makes so much money off it. But at the same time, that's why you're going to school for that, you know?
So listen to this.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
Oh, I'm sorry, Leah. Listen to this. So when we talk about schools paying athletes, we also got to look at the schools. Not every school is making a lot of money.
Correct.
Now, if you have a Robert Morris, they can't pay the same. They can't pay an athlete the same amount that a Duke is going to pay their athlete, right? So each school will be paying their athlete different rates. Like, you know what I mean? Right. I know you got a D2 school. Then what? You get $50 a month, and then you got Duke, and now they're getting $2,000 a month. Like, where does it start and where does it end? So that's going to be the most difficult part of figuring out how do we generate this money to give to these athletes, because some schools can't even afford to pay the athletes. Right. Some schools can, you know. Not everybody's jersey is being sold in Foot Locker.
Agreed. No, that's what I was gonna piggyback off of that similarly, just to say the same thing. And then also, like, when you do play, so like when I played, we had stipends, right, on trips that we went on. So I would think at some point, you know, again, it would have to be a breakdown. Like, how do you break down from a Division 2, 3 compared to a Division 1, or the size of your Division 1? You know, Mount St. Mary's compared to Kentucky. How do you figure out those stipends? But maybe utilize a stipend as a way to give players extra funding.
Don't they got budgets though?
Yeah, everybody has a budget, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's like Dale said, it's going to be very hard.
Yeah, everybody's budget going to be a little different.
Yeah,
right.
So why doesn't everybody have like a same budget? Doesn't matter if D1, D2, D3. Well, like you said, maybe like $500 stipend or something.
That sounds like communism.
Everybody can't afford the same budget though.
No, it's true, but I was like maybe something that you can have affordable for each and every school. I mean, but I get it. I get where you're going. It's very complicated. Even if it's 500 or 5,000, it's still complicated.
I think trying to even out the playing field as far as the money for players, it's going to be too tough because like 1 year you could make the top 25 based on the Associated Press. Next year, no one hears of you, but you're still technically D1. You know?
Right.
So it's like you can't just say, all right, D1, everyone gets $3,000 automatically, you know, because now you're going to have some players that are saying, oh, I sit on the bench, I'm still going to make the stipend no matter what. Right. But
that's where my thing would be an issue too. Like,
well, if your jersey ain't selling and you have a lot of going on, you just can't. You got to start for your stuff.
I think there's a lot of times that there's players who aren't getting opportunities at some of their schools. You're starting five.
You Zion and you killing it, you get what's due. If you somebody else, you're not getting time. You got a scholarship.
Well, you know where Zion's money came from is when his shoe exploded in college. He knew he was getting a contract right after that. He knew that.
Yeah. But, and this goes back to like everybody just feeling like you just got to be real with it. If you know you're going to the league and you know you're a top dollar athlete and you all that. You know, and they selling your jersey and you get money off for it, you get what's just due. But if you're not an athlete, elite athlete like that, then, you know, I mean, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? If I'm sitting the bench and I got a scholarship and then I'm playing on a team with a Zion or a LeBron, I'm not going to be mad. I'm like, man, dude, working for that, man. You know what I mean?
No, because
I'm not gonna be mad and be like, yo, he getting $10,000 a month.
No.
I'm good with my $5,000.
So let's be honest. Now, how many times have you been on an actual team? Not you, but you've seen players on a team who might. There's somebody on there that you know that ninth man literally could bang that person for real.
You said
However, they're not getting opportunity because they don't have a coach.
Don't matter.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't like. That's not that. That's not fair.
But you can't. I can't be playing, and then my jersey's being sold, and I don't get no profit from it. Now you making money off my name, and I get no money. Okay, take my jersey out of the store. Is that what you mean?
For sure.
Dude at ninth.
Yeah, so it got to be some balance, somewhere. Right.
Yeah, the dude at ninth man, his jersey ain't selling, but at least he got a scholarship. Do he got to pay for to go to school? No.
Look, if his team is an NCAA from EA Sports, he's getting paid something, right? They gotta do his like little face, unless he's gonna be like one of those little bots that they have in the game.
The only way I'm getting comfortable on anybody's bench is if I'm in the league. Now, if I'm the 12th man on the league, listen, look, you ain't got that check coming in. We practice it. I'm getting my workouts. I'm good. But high school.
No, you a hooper. You gonna get upset from that after a while. But all right, that's enough. I'm trying to put me in the game.
With the best of the best. Nah, you tripping.
That's that.
Get that Brian Scalabrine money.
But you know what? You know who's actually a good story about that from the NBA? Jeremy Lin. When he was in New York, he was a nobody. Like, he made it. He's still pretty good, but it's like no one knew who he was until Carmelo went down, right? And he came out of nowhere. I mean, he's nowhere not right now. I don't know what he's doing, but as soon as he went to Houston, he got that big check because of what he was able to produce, you know? So, you know, like, that's one thing, like you said, even being on the bench, the expectation, the same thing like with high school kids, like, you just because you're there doesn't mean you can't work for it. You know what I mean? You got to work. And if you want to make it and take it to the next level, you definitely got to work for it, you know?
Yeah, you got to be ready when your number's called.
Of course. Yep. Oh, you can't shoot no air balls. I've done those before.
Ru, you're about to say something?
No, I'm just saying I'm all about that Brian Scalabrine money. I don't mind just sitting there collecting a nice check.
How much is he making? Huh? How much is he making?
How much was he making? I don't know. I know he made like what? Maybe at one point he made like $12 million sitting on the bench.
So is Kwame Brown.
Well, Brian, like what Booba said earlier, Brian Cardinal, remember that guy? Toronto gave him like what, $46 million? For like what, 3-4 years?
Yeah, it was like a 4-year deal.
And he just rode the bench. Like, he didn't do much after that. Got paid.
Listen. Hey, y'all made me upset when y'all talk like that. These dudes stealing money, man. They stealing money. 40, man. 3 years, 40-something million to do absolutely nothing.
You know who really screwed a lot of people over? I'm going to put him out there. Gilbert Arenas.
Oh my God! All right,
he man.
Pew pew.
Okay. So the NBA is going to come back next week, right, or 2 weeks from now. What's y'all take? How y'all feel about the bubble situation? Do y'all think the NBA is actually going to last the season?
Well,
or not?
Well, here's what. Yeah, go ahead, Lee.
Cut 2020. Everybody just sit down somewhere.
Thank you.
And we
Thank
just
you.
I agree.
Cancel it all. It's over.
Listen, the NBA, everybody got money. Everybody's sitting on something pretty up there.
Right.
Like, just work out. Do what y'all need to do. Enjoy this time with families, because a lot of these little chaps up there ain't taking the time down for their families. Enjoy it. Cancel 2020. Let's try again in 2021.
I couldn't agree. But look, everybody in the league ain't making a lot of money though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like there's some guys that's only making $400,000.
Only
some guys that's on a 2-way contract and they got called up.
Yeah.
If they don't get paid, they done. They broke.
When you talk about $400,000 for that season, they getting that check, man.
$400,000 after taxes. You only bringing home about $250,000. Now you got a mortgage and other stuff.
They're still bringing in 6 figures.
Damn.
That don't mean nothing, man.
You gotta repeat that darn number, you darn self. We talking about
250,000.
6 figures.
To last year, $250,000 is not a lot of money, especially if your mortgage is $10,000 a month.
That's why they put to the
class. You got a lot of stuff to go with that.
They should have went to Tony Dungy's financial class. That ain't my problem.
Unemployment.
No. Right? You got to be smart with your money. Don't be no Antoine Walker and blow all your money on lavish stuff.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, yeah, everybody should budget. Everybody should budget their money, but it doesn't work. You know, we know in reality, everybody doesn't budget their money like that. So even guys, they don't know when their dad's paycheck is coming. They thinking, I'm gonna buy my mother a house. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Like I done been in some of those classes, those seminars where they give guys, okay, you have $1 million. You owe your agent 3% of that. Okay, now you owe. You just bought a $500,000 house. By the end of the thing, they're like, you have $50,000 left for the rest of the year.
Right.
Okay, you bought a house, you bought a car, you bought your mother a house, paid your agent, you got $50,000 for the rest of the year.
That's what
happened. Like, what?
That's what happened to
Shaq.
Shaq.
Like, what the hell you mean I got $50,000? That's what you got, $50,000. And then now you want to go. Now you want to go to the club a couple times. You want to go out to dinner and do stuff like that. Bring your boys.
Right.
See, and then that's when you go broke real fast. So a lot of times on guys' first contracts, they mess it up. Because they're not used to having that money in their pocket.
Right.
So
especially when they're not getting
there's a lot of rookies in the season, right in the NBA right now that they were happy to go to that bubble, because if they didn't go to that bubble and they don't get paid, it's a wrap. The same thing for the teams. If the teams don't have that revenue coming in from TV, if they don't have different sponsorships and things happening, the NBA may not be the same next year. So they had to do something. But a lot of times, I mean, what I'm hearing is it's safer in the bubble than it is out here. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's constantly tested.
Yeah.
At least there, you know, everybody, okay, he's been tested, you're tested. Here we like, I don't know who got it.
Right.
Yeah, but like even in youth sports, I mean, I know the league and youth sports is different, but like, what's the rush? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because if you get sick and you die, you ain't gonna have. I mean, you can't spend the money anyway.
That's true.
Right. No, but add to the fact that you're in a safer environment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then let's flip it up. Let's flip it on the flip side. Look at the situation with Deladon. So she's involved in and everything, but she's sick, and thankfully she has the WNBA is allowing if you are accepted with your health reasons, you can stop and still get paid. However, she's literally been battling Lyme disease. I don't know if you guys got to read her article.
I read it.
Yeah.
64
pills.
a day. Dang,
yeah, but it just so happens she fell in the loop. Her disease is not very well known, so her disease fell in a loophole. If it was a disease that wasn't in that loophole, then they would have been like, oh, well, she can't go. But because her disease happened to fall in that loophole, they said, well, you can go because your disease isn't really going to affect you like that. But pretty soon they're going to change that and they're going to let her sit out. They just don't know too much about it yet.
Hey, I mean, forever, don't nobody know what this virus is, like what it is, what it's going to do, how it affects. I mean, for us, even personally, like our older boy that we took in, he lost his father to it. And we're talking about somebody who ain't, 50-something years old, healthy, everything, and just like that, in a week's time.
And a young boy.
And then one of our young boys who played for FD, like and then one of our kids who played AAU, we didn't train or anything like that, but she just happened, her sister who was working caught it, brought it home, and got the whole family infected. Ooh. So it's just like, you just don't know. So why are we going to? I mean, I get everybody wants to, keep the revenue going and people got to eat, but you're really gambling with something so serious right now that there's no science or no true understanding behind it. So why are we forcing issues and pressing stuff? That's what my whole thing is.
So
I think people just getting impatient. We don't know what to expect. We don't see an ending in sight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it is. We can't see the light at the end of the tunnel right now.
Right.
So with the NBA bubble, this is I'm okay. Let me just bluntly say it. I feel the NBA is being pushed on by the power players in the game right now, especially a lot of it has to do with LeBron. And I'm just gonna say this out there: I am a Lakers fan, but listen, hold on before Amru. I don't want to put don't jinx or nothing. But also at the same time, I feel like he's pushing so hard on it because this is his only opportunity to win. He finally has that team.
I mean, he's 35. I understand.
He's got his team, and this is his only chance. But you're putting a lot of people at risk. Russell Westbrook that's his fault. He was out in Vegas a couple days before he was supposed to come down. Harden's missing, and like everyone's saying, like this situation is so serious. And for the listeners out there, the kids that are playing basketball, that in AAU, we want you to play, we want you to do that, but at the same time, we want you to be safe. We want to make sure that you're healthy because, like you said, you can play in these 3 games and you get sick. What's the point? You're not going to get no scholarship. You're going to be spending your time in the hospital. And you're spreading this disease around because a lot of people think the disease right now, or the virus, is a hoax. Personally, I lost 8 people in the last 3 months, 3 of them being somewhat close. So whether if you believe it or not, it's out there. But on a positive note with the NBA, and I was thinking about this because AAU season was about to start, and now we're having all the NBA teams in Orlando. I always had a feeling that. A positive feeling. If they ever did this, it would change the game. It would be great. Throw all the teams in there, right? Instead of doing East versus West, which I think is crap, just let them battle it out. Top 16 teams from the top versus bottom. Just like you're going to AAU tournament. That's pretty much what they're doing. They're doing adult AAU. That's what they're doing.
Right.
What's your take on that about NBA changing their playoff format? Because you think about it, they're the only major American sport that does an East versus West versus every other sport does a national conference with the East versus West and then an American conference. What do you think about that? Do you think it would work?
I'll say about the first piece of what you said about LeBron and kind of some of the elite guys wanted to come back. I think it's the masses, man, like the owners and people that's in these high positions. They the ones who want to see it go.
Yeah.
Like I think the elite athletes, I think they'd be all right. You know what I mean? Like especially LeBron, we got other stuff going on, but I think it's these TV companies and these media companies and these big wigs that trying to push it to come back. You know, that's my take on that. But the second piece, you know, you guys want to.
I don't know. Kind of.
Changing the playoff format, I think it'd be a good look. I think it's something different. You know, they changed the playoff format. Grand Booba, when they changed the playoff format, it was like 2003.
It was after the 04 season.
04, they changed the format. It got better, so it became what 2-2, 1-1.
It was
1. That's what it was at that point.
Yeah, 2-2, 2-2, 1-1-1.
Right, and then what was the format before that?
It used to be 2-3-2,
which made no sense in my honest
That
opinion.
didn't make any sense.
So do you allow everybody? You know, it's like a slate clean type thing. Or do you disregard like everything that happened pre-COVID?
I think with the COVID situation, just go with the top 16 teams as if you're doing a normal playoff. But instead of doing East versus West, just go, you know, top seed versus bottom seed, just kind of like an AAU tournament, you know, like that evens out the playing field, because as a fan, this is what we really want to see. At least for me, I want to see the Battle of LA. I want to see Kawhi and LeBron in a final, you know, like for a long time, you know, LeBron is one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but he's always been stuck with that stigma of being a smart kid in a dumb class, of having a weak Eastern Conference. You know, now the East is finally, you know, evening out, and this is his opportunity to show it in the West too. But it's like, we want to see the other team that's just as good as you guys are, you know?
I think that would be dope, actually. If you did just the best versus the worst and make it into a regular AAU type tournament, I think that would be dope.
Yeah.
I mean,
That'd be cool.
Because it also gives hope back to the kids, you know? So, you know, from that perspective, in my honest opinion, I think from that perspective, kind of like going back to the original statement about AAU, about kids going to these team names that have been around for 25 years and stuff like that. Now you're just competing at this point. You're not going to East or West. You're just going to compete. So, you know, I think that'd be kind of a cool format. So we're almost at the end of our show. We got a couple minutes left. So I got one last question for y'all. So since we are out of the DMV, going back to our original statement, we are not the Department of Motor Vehicles. We are the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Our map is based off our WMATA, which is our metro map. The Redskins, with that name change that's going to happen, what is your take on that? Do you feel that the entire, not league, but all sports should just go ahead and just remove these Native American names? Like, I get it, like the Redskins name comes off as offensive, but do you think they should just remove it? Because it's like you're using kind of like the people of a culture as your mascot. What's your take on that?
I mean, there's so much negative connotation behind it with everything that's gone on in this history. I mean, don't even get me started on, you know, how this land was taken, and we know history has shown that this land was stolen from the Native Americans. So the fact that you've stolen their land, you've stolen their identity, you've stolen their culture, and then you want to use it in sports, and then you mock their heritage, it is offensive. And a lot of them will say that it's very offensive to them. And I'm all for the change. You know, if they feel like this is, you know, offensive to them, by all means, change it. If they're coming out and saying, I do not like being called a brave, I think that is offensive, or a chief, that is offensive to me. And the fact that you're using that emblem of a Native American or a face or something, and if it's offensive to that culture, why not make the effort to make the change? Because certainly if it was something else, we would not be happy as well. Like if it was the Washington Blackskins, we wouldn't be happy about that either. So I'm all for the change, honestly.
Whoever wants to go.
I mean, I think it's everything. Everything at this point just needs to go. I go back to my beginning statement. Throw 2020 away. All these names and stuff need to go. I mean, I totally agree with Amru. I mean, it's tough. It's this transition that we're going through is tough, because I mean, not only just at the NFL level or at the high sports level, but we're also talking about from just high school names, like the school that I coach at, my high school name got to be changed now. Like there's just everything across the board needs to.
Everything that's offensive definitely needs to be gone. Because, like I said, all the stuff that we statues in Richmond and all over the place, I didn't even know existed. Like we might walk past it and not even know what it stands for. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. Like some of the stuff I'm saying, like, dang, I just been past that joint. I didn't even know what it stood for, how crazy it was, offensive it was to us. So now is the opportunity for everybody to step up and really, you know what I mean?
Put equality.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Right. Because this time may not even come again. You know what I mean?
Yes, opportunity.
I feel like with the name, you know, obviously Redskins, it is very offensive. You know, I put this on my Facebook chat, and a lot of people were chiming in on it and saying, you know, should they remove the names? At one point, I felt like they should just remove them all Native Americans' names, because you're using a person, right? But then I started reading a little bit more, which I didn't even know until recently, about Florida State Seminoles. So they actually pay homage to the Seminole tribe, but the Seminole tribe actually invited the president of the university to speak, and they have a really good relationship, and then they help out with the Seminole tribe. So I feel like if you are going to do it, you have to honor the culture, the people, you know, of that ethnic background, especially with all the stuff that's going on. But yeah, I don't know. I think they should change it. And, you know, I know Graham Boob and I were talking about, like, for example, like the Kansas City Chiefs or the Atlanta Braves, they took away some of their what's it called? Their chants? Is that what it's called?
The chop.
The chop.
Right?
Yeah.
It took away the tomahawk chop.
Like that's if you wanna honor a heritage, honor it, but don't mock it. You know, that's my take on it.
I mean, at least get the people involved, you know, and if you making money off that, donate to them, you know. And
yeah, I think that would be a difference if you got everybody, like, tribes involved, more leadership with that's representative of that, whatever the name could be. I think that makes a game changer. And then, like you said, put donations and all that kind of stuff. All right, now it makes sense. But it's just like when you go to like a Japanese restaurant and there's nothing but white people cooking or like you're not represent. I want to go authentic. So if I'm gonna have an authentic spot, an authentic name, it needs to have the representation of the people there. You know what I mean? Right. So that's what I think that needs to happen at the end of the day. If you're keeping these names, get more involved.
Right. And the name shouldn't be offensive at the same time. So you're donating money, but at the same time, you're saying the Redskins after you didn't scalp them and the blood's coming down their face. So that's where you get the name Redskins. Like, now you're going to give me some money after you still degrade me? Right. Like you said, now 2020 needs to be thrown in the trash. But right now, it's the perfect time because everybody's waking up. Everybody's more conscious than ever right now. That's what it seems like in my eyes. Everybody's so conscious right now. So let's go ahead and do away with anything that's offensive. If we're really going to move forward and be living in harmony, then let's do it. Let's not fake it. You know what I'm saying? So
be authentic.
That's what's my take on it.
Go all out.
Yeah. Yep. COVID's like a blessing and a curse in its own kind of way and stuff like that. So real quick to wrap up. So some of the names that were being thrown out there to possible changes were the Washington Warriors, which I'm not a fan of because it sounds like Golden State.
It's going to be the Warriors, even though I want it to be the Red Wolves.
Why?
But it's going to be
Warriors. That's so.
It's going to be Warriors because we're going to find a way to screw it up.
So they have the Warriors. They have the Red Tails. What else do they have?
Red Tails. Yeah,
I like the Red Tails. Honestly,
Red Tails is cool. What was the other one? The Wolves.
Yeah, Red Wolves, Red Tails, and Warriors.
Let me ask you this: what does the Wolves have to do with our area? I've never seen a wolf in our area. It's realistic.
What do the Wolves?
Yeah, there's no wolves out here.
I mean, have you seen a wizard in our area?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, listen.
It doesn't have to make sense.
Listen, all I'm saying, whatever name that comes about, I hope y'all win. I hope, build a winning. That's what
the moment we change.
Hope the win.
We change our name. We're making the playoffs. We're making the playoffs after we.
Hey, just rue it.
I just hope we get rid of the owner.
Just rue it. The magic is the mayors are getting off all their crimes. That's the magic. That's what's going on in DC. I don't know what they doing, but they getting off everything.
Clean, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense.
Leadership, man. Leadership.
Yeah.
Didn't y'all do that?
Good job.
Ain't you? Oh yeah, you're an ex-Redskins fan. Didn't y'all do that?
What's that?
Daryl, I don't blame you.
I know when to jump off ship. But that's one thing.
Wait, you an Eagles fan, right? That's right. Eagles, right?
Hey, listen. I was, but man, I ain't got time to watch none of them. I'm just trying to get my paper, man. You know
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
I ain't got no man.
I was telling Booba because I'm slowly looking at the LA Rams because I'm like looking at them. I'm like, I don't know.
Ravens, baby.
Nah, I can't do that.
I'm not gonna lie. I stopped watching when Kaepernick took that knee. I haven't watched it really since. Just no interest in it, you know what I mean? So that's coming to the end of our show. So each one of you guys as a guest, you have a 30-second plug. You can shout out something positive to the people out there. You know, obviously you want to shout out your brand. You got 30 seconds. You get to say whatever you want. The mic is completely yours. Mr. McNeil, you want to go first, sir?
No, I don't have really a shout out for my brand or anything, Driven Athletic Academy, but I do just want to say, you know, it was great talking with you guys again, man. You know, y'all like family, and can't wait till we hook up again.
Most def. Team Towe.
Shout out to the CTAB Hoops. Follow us on Instagram at CTAB Hoops and all that good stuff, man. And continue to walk in your purpose, man. Know your purpose, seek it, and live life, man. Because you never know, man, when the world stops. You know what I mean? They can stop at any time.
This is the time. Yeah. This is the time. Y'all should nobody be coming out of COVID at the same way they entered it. Everybody should be doing something different, something better.
Absolutely. I love y'all, man. Can't wait to see y'all again, man. Daryl, boy, I can't wait to link up again, man. And Boo, and Lynn, man. I love y'all boys, man.
No doubt.
Too, man. All right, man. Love you too, man.
Just Ruin, you got your plug.
First, I want to shout out God, man. You got to shout out God. He blessed us with everything. Without him, there is no me. And, you know, I love y'all too. And, you know, I do miss y'all. Hopefully we can get up once this pandemic is over. Another thing is please take care of your mental health. You know, it's very vital with everything that's been going on. I feel, you know, I've become more of an advocate for mental health for the last couple of years, and I'm going to stick with it. If I could do seminars and stuff, I'm all for it. Also, my album's coming out. Just make sure y'all catch that.
Oh my God!
You have it going.
We're about to have an online conversation. What album are you talking about now?
The album of life. Peace and blessings to everybody. You know, I miss y'all, and definitely we got to get up soon.
Most definitely. Thank you for guys for being on the show. Very fortunate to have you part of my lives, and you know, with COVID and all the stuff that's going on, just want to make sure that we all understand that, you know, we need to enjoy life a little bit and don't let life enjoy us, you know, and you know, hopefully after all this situation, just like you said, we stay connected and actually try to make more moves and involve each other's in lives, because we got kids, and you know, we want our kids to grow well. And it's unfortunate we live in a weird society right now. And one thing I do want to push on, I'm not going to push on what I'm going to say, but hopefully if you know me, you understand. But I want the listeners out there to really understand the laws that we have in the United States, and also learn how to protect yourselves, and you know, and just make sure that you are doing your research on with the political stuff that's coming up. And you know, some people believe in one thing, and then the other. Just got to look at the big picture and what's really best for the people, because it's unfortunate we have a lot of odds against us, especially minorities and black people in the United States right now. We want to make sure that we're supportive, because we need to thrive and grow as the United States of America. We are the people. We need to bring that back, and that's one of the issues that we have right now. People are so against each other, and so, you know, we need to show, because I'm sure right now other countries looking at us like a laughing stock right now, you know. So we want to make sure that we're being the best versions of ourselves. And I just want to thank you guys for being a guest on our show. Also, make sure you check out the live recorded version of this on YouTube at The Fresh Delivery Show. You can also find us on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. You can also check out www.ctabhoops.org for all your training and AAU information in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. You can also check out driven.athletic.academy for all your Wizards training and all your information that you need to train with Dale McNeil. Man, what else? Follow us on Instagram. That's pretty much it. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
And what's going on, everybody? Thanks for checking us out on the Fresh Delivery Show. You can listen to us on other episodes on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and now Spotify, whichever one you like. Make sure you like one of them or all of them. Make sure you follow us on the gram at The Fresh Delivery and on Facebook, The Fresh Delivery Show. And if there's something you like, hit that heart or like. Maybe you can hit it once, twice, anything that's nice. Yeah.